Welcome to ECCSC Live on CAN TV. I'm your host, Tyrone Muhammad. And as you can see, we got some great guests. Look, we got Cream back in the house. What's up, puppy son? And we have brother Gary L. Lewis Sr.
Yes, sir.
of I Am Dad. And he brought his beautiful daughter. Tell the people your name. Look at the camera. Look at the camera. Tell the people who you are. Don't be nervous. They say hi. Say hi. Wave at them. Hey, people.
You gotta
Hey,
give them
people.
away.
She got nervous. So anyway, people, as y'all know, for those who's it's their first time tuning in, this is ECC SC Live, Ex-Cons for Community and Social Change. And this is what it represents. This is what it's all about. As I'm gonna first, get into the purpose of this show is to bring poignant information around violence, prison reform, social justice, community activity, social change. So my brother here, Gary Lewis, who has a great organization, I Am Dad 365 Inc.
365.
365 Inc. He do great work in the community, and it's only natural and right that I have him on the show because I've been watching him for a while and being a formerly incarcerated man myself, and you as well.
Yes, sir.
This is what we should do. This is who we really are. We are not our past. We are not our incarceration. We are our future, and we are part of the community. And so we here to bring social change. So tell the people who you are, man, in your own words and what it is that you do and how long I Am Dad. When was the first time, you conceived of it?
Well, I Am Dad 365. First and foremost, my name is Gary Lewis. I'm the founder of I Am Dad 365. I Am Dad came about after the death, I would like to say after the death of Tyshawn Lee. I Googled where the funeral was being held, and became aware of Saint Sabina.
Yeah.
So I went over to Saint Sabina, and initially we started Strong Futures, which
Right.
I've been working for. I've been a mentor for the last 4 years now. I just resigned to do I Am Dad 365 full time.
Wow.
Yep.
So, after joining the organization, being a part of the organization, what type of impact has I Am Dad had? Have you seen, on communities or the individuals lives you've been able to touch?
Well, I Am Dad. I've since the birth of my daughter. My daughter is 4 now. Her name is Ella Lewis.
Hey, Ella.
I Am Dad came to me while coaching younger guys. We was working with at-risk youth over at Saint Sabina, and like I said, the program that I was the mentor for was Strong Futures. So it came to me while working with at-risk youth. A lot of young guys coming in without fathers.
Yes, sir.
Lack of
Yes,
fathers.
sir.
And I was working with a mentor by the name of John Harris, my fellow co-worker. And I said, John, man, hey, man, there's a lot of guys without fathers, man. We got to do something about it. And I birthed I Am Dad 365.
You mentioned Saint Sabina, when I came home after being in prison, bro, and just trying to get your bearings and direction. Father Flager, with regards to what they say, everybody got their opinion, was the first one who gave me an opportunity.
Yes, sir.
I was doing the peace games. He was allowing me to coach, just to do security on the peace games, and I was able to put a few dollars in my pockets, bro, just from that alone. So I thank Father Flager for that opportunity. It's easy to talk about things you have no knowledge of, and it's like I can only say to him, thank him for what he's done for me to allow me to transition and giving me an opportunity where there was no other pastor giving me an opportunity to feed my family or to get myself acclimated back into society. So I just had to say that in honor and respect of what he did for me. And then you mentioning that alone allow. You mentioned that alone. That's all right. You mentioned that. That's what this about. It's about you. This show is about you. But you mentioning that just brought that to my attention, and you know I don't speak about it much, but he was one of the first one to give me an opportunity to should I say transition back in society.
Definitely.
So being incarcerated yourself, do you want to talk to the people about sit your butt? You want to talk to the people about what that was, if you will, share with them briefly about what you've been through in the criminal justice system.
Yeah, definitely. I was brought up in the Robert Taylor housing projects. At the earliest, at her age, I can recall, ducking and dodging bullets at the tender age of, 4, 5, 6. And I recall not being able to focus while in class, due to the
In class.
due to the activities of my community.
Activities.
At the age
I like the
at
activity.
the age of 21, I went into the federal system.
Federal system.
Just a product. I consider myself. At the time, I was a product of my environment. I was duplicating things that I seen coming up. And at 21, I went into federal prison. I was sentenced. Feds, they give you months. I was sentenced to 140 months. And at the time, I thought that, it was.
Hey man, I just got to tell you, this is great, bro.
Yes, sir.
I love to see that she's mimicking every word. Federal system.
Yes, sir.
Say and everything you say, she mimics that, man.
very
That when you
intelligent.
see our daughters, bro,
Yes.
having fathers, strong male role models, and we're formerly incarcerated brothers, man,
Yes, sir.
to look up to mimic. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am, princess. Yes, right. See, that is so great, bro. I love it. It warms my heart, and I can just talk and let her just chime in all day long, and it's not gonna be ignoring like this little bad boy here who he want to be on camera. He think he a superstar. He think he a celebrity. But if you can, go ahead, please, finish.
Yeah,
If you
what I was saying though, I was incarcerated at the age of 21, and I was sentenced to 140 months. At the time, I couldn't read or write.
Wow.
Not ashamed
Right.
to say that I couldn't read or write. I went into the system, uneducated. I got 140 months, and I thought it was a blessing. And
Wow.
I went to the cell and did the math, and I walked away with 11 years and 8 months. First time incarcerated, I got sentenced to 11 years and 8 months.
And you was how old again?
I was 21.
21.
21.
21.
21.
So
22.
I took
23.
it and ran with it. I didn't see it as a curse. I went in and educated myself.
And the curse.
I learned law. I learned law.
Yes.
So yeah,
Love her.
I used that to work with individuals, at-risk individuals at St. Sabina. I go advocate for guys. That's
Guys.
I advocate
that's
for
in the legal
guys.
system. Justice involved, and I look at it as a blessing. I don't take it as a curse.
See? That's great. He kissed you on live TV. That's okay, right? That's your dad. Okay. You mentioned the advocating.
Yeah, everything that I learned in prison, it's been of use to me now that I am back a productive citizen of,
Yeah.
my community. Everything I dreamed about doing, I'm currently doing.
Right.
And that's uplifting. I once was a part of the destruction of the community,
Man.
and now I'm a part of the rebirth and uplifting of the community.
Man, see, that's the motto of ECCSC. And with all the different guys that have their different organization and being a part of ECCSC and just taking personal responsibility for the ills that our hands have created. towards our community and our families, the terroristic effect that our hands produce is just the same. It's no different from what these young men are going through today. We are being an example of positive male role models. Although I don't, yeah, I do strive to be a role model, but that's not my.
To be a role model.
Yes, man. I strive to be a role model for the young men that don't have a role model, and the young ladies that don't have a father and a role model. So
I think that's important, though. I think that's important to have positive influences. So we got to step up and be positive influences. We got to be the role models of the community.
yeah. So you see, people, this is what ECCSC is all about. This is what ECCSC Live is about, highlighting and showcasing this type of man, these type of people, this type of woman, this type of child, even puppy son, even puppy son. And I hope that as we strive to build out the platform for positive communication and examples, man, that people will tune in more. People will offer their suggestions of what it is that we should, our show should be like. Because you know me, I want everybody to have a voice sometime. Sometimes we talk too loud and say too much.
Yes, sir.
But we don't push forth no initiative to be present. And I commend you, man, for being present, showing us as an example of what a father should be.
Example to be a father.
Yeah, she's so beautiful. So your dad is a great example of what a father should be, and we have to be highlighted. We have to be highlighted in the communities, in legislation, and in the churches, in the systems, to show what it is when we transform our lives to be better men.
To be better man.
That's right. So, what do you envision, I Am Dad? What is the future for I Am Dad, and what is it that you'll like? Put any particular legislation?
Well, I Am Dad 365 is a movement of love.
Yeah.
It's to uplift not only men but our communities.
Yes.
It's to be there for our children and our women. It's that village. And my shirts all my shirts says it take us all to build a village.
Yes.
And that's what I Am Dad represents. It's that village. And I'm just calling on men to step up and just, represent the community, irregardless if you're a biological father or not.
Yeah.
My concept is all men are dads.
Right. Well, I always say I left 200 sons in prison.
Yes, sir.
Because those young men, some never would come home, and some have been slowly coming home. They have been slowly coming home. And you're on television, they looking at you. You look at that. Wave at the people. Hey, people, we wish you love, peace, and happiness.
Okay, put that down.
Okay. So with that being said, it's like we didn't have many examples of what fatherhood really was. We didn't have many examples of what motherhood really was. If our sisters has been just as void in terms of, trying to be the best they can be and raising men.
Right.
And you mentioned the crack epidemic to me before. That crack epidemic. It ravaged our communities, man.
Definitely.
You got any comment on that?
It took away young men like myself. I had two sons that was 4 and 6 at the time of my incarceration.
I'm 4.
I get back in at 14 and 16.
Yeah.
Without having a dad as a role model, as an example, that destroyed the communities. When you took a generation of youthful men and incarcerated them.
Yeah.
You know, I think it took that leadership out of the community, and as in my case, I was apologized by the Supreme Court for the crack versus powder disparity.
Yeah.
I'm not to say that I wasn't, moving drugs or selling drugs, but the time didn't fit the crime.
Exactly.
It's what the Supreme Court apologized, and said I was over sentenced. But unfortunately, I had already served my sentence. Yeah.
After they reversed it.
Yeah.
Was it any reparations or any
I
nothing?
think I wish I'd have filed a lawsuit,
time bar.
a civil suit.
Wow.
But no, they just they wanted to remove me out of the halfway house when that's what I needed most. I felt, I'm like,
Yeah.
I need the 6 months halfway house to help my transition.
But in light of what we see now, with the this so-called new weed, new drugs, here you go. With this new weed, this new drug laws and everything that has been made legal, that was used as a gateway to cocaine. Selling the weed and all those things was a gateway to selling it, all the other substances. Now that you see this thing legal, after they built the state of Illinois prison systems off our bodies, now we're talking about expungement. I've always said if you're expunging something, you recognize that was a wrong. Now you have to repair that thing. There should be reparations on top of expungement. You just because you expunge the record doesn't deal with the crime or the time that these young men have served. They mess their families up, sir. They mess their families up. Communities up. The communities was messed up.
Communities is messed up.
That's right. And now we sit here, man. We have legal drug dealers, and we don't benefit from that. What you think about that?
I think that definitely
Think about that.
the street entrepreneurs deserve a piece of the pie. Like you said, it was individuals that was taken out of the community, and we were targeted. We were given harsher sentences for, the marijuana, for the crack. And now that they made it illegal, why wouldn't you allow the felons, former felons, an opportunity to,
to capital or to feed their families, to create business and
be
opportunity.
legitimate
Because they was
entrepreneurs.
already businessmen.
Yes.
You know, like I know, weed, crack cocaine, heroin, Smith and Wesson is not produced, and extended clips are not produced in our neighborhood.
Facts.
But yet we find ourselves entrapped by these weapons of mass destruction.
And given the harsher sentences for, having possession of marijuana.
If you could talk to the young Gary, what would you say to the young Gary now having a daughter? Now you know what we did it violated other communities, other women and children. Now that you have a child of your own, bro, it's like I would just like to think, what would you tell that young Gary? Like, man,
I would advise a younger person, as I always say, anything worth having is worth working for.
Yeah.
You can't take shortcuts. Shortcuts typically take you to the longest distance.
Wow.
Taking a shortcut, you land me in federal prison, and I had to do 10 years, of something I can't get back. But yeah, I'll say anything worth having is worth working for, and that's what I Am Dad 365 represent. It's educating, each one teach one. It's giving a younger brother an opportunity to be entrepreneurs. Street entrepreneurs typically are we can go in any legitimate enterprise and we can just take over, with the complexities of the streets.
Yeah.
If you can do it in the streets, I always educate, you can do it in the streets, you can do it anywhere. You can build your own Fortune 500. So
And essentially, that's what we just didn't understand economics.
Yes.
This
Economics.
country was built
This
off
country.
illegal activity,
Facts.
and slavery being the first. Being the first, murder,
And we have yet
bloodshed,
to be reparated for it.
and yet to be compensated for the death, the murder, the violations of our family and our communities, man. And you know, I just want to say to the people that's listening out there, this is what I do this for little sisters like this to have a different image and a different understanding of manhood, and for brothers like this who have, you know, been in the community, tirelessly working as an activist, an advocate, and a social change agent for our communities.
And a dad.
And a dad. See, that we can't miss that. That's a great statement. A dad.
Yes,
What
sir.
is a dad to you?
A dad to me is someone that thinks, you know, that thinks their way out of any situation. Someone that protects the family, you know, protects that village. A dad is everything. You remove the dad from the house, then you destroy the household.
I know that. I know
Destroy
that
the house.
personally because when I left my daughter, she was about her age.
Yes.
I left my daughter, and when you leave, when I entered the prison injustice system, my daughter was her age, man. She was doing the same stuff. Then returning back to society, man, and not having a hand on guiding your daughter, not being the example, not being a role model, even to this day, that weighs on my mental, even in times when I can't even, you know what I'm saying, express what that represents. And it hurts on the inside. And she remind me of my daughter, Takia, always leaning on my every word. Everything I said, daddy, daddy, daddy. So if daddy said,
Dada, dada.
it's real. Daddy is Superman,
That's a
To young
Superman.
ladies,
To
you know?
young ladies.
and I'm just, you know, I appreciate this, man, opportunity to share this with you and her, because this is gonna be, you know, a show that you can have later on to say you was on TV at 4 years old.
At 4 years old.
And she's special. Before we close out, would you like to tell the people how can they find you and what you're working on next?
Well, I can be reached. I'm on the grounds. I work the grounds. But my website is iamdad365.com. This summer, I'm launching a book, Made to Be a Dad, and I'll be more active, you know, as far as having events for the dads to come out and be educated and teach each other entrepreneurship, you know, and just to even have opportunities to coach other men to be better dads.
Yeah.
To be other dads.
And be better fathers,
To be
brothers,
better
sisters,
fathers
you know,
and better
just to be-
sisters,
well, not
better
sisters, but
brothers,
Brothers.
to be better towards our sisters, you know, to be
In our
better
community.
men.
our sisters.
So maybe you know I have to launch. I love her. I have to relaunch my book. So
Yes, sir.
I think, and there's a few other brothers that's formerly incarcerated that have books that I associate with. We might be able to figure something out where we come as a group and we do some type of book fair or book, you know, or just a circuit where we talk about our journey and then talk about our books and have the books ready for sale. I think we could pull that off, man, on a big level with all of our platforms and everything, and just push our book and push information just to be a positive example of what that looks like, how we go from despair to tragedy to being authors and entrepreneur and community servants, as I like to say.
Well, we got to continue to eat it like an elephant, piece by piece, as we
By
doing.
piece.
If we continue to, you know, put the positivity out there, each brother that's doing positive is closer and closer to that village.
That's right. So with that being said, brother, I thank you for coming out.
Yes, sir.
And I
Anytime.
thank you, Princess. Thank you, Princess. Let me see your hand. Let me see. Thank you for coming out and with us. And let's tell the people bye. Say bye, people. So once again, y'all take care. Tune in next week. ECCSC Live on CAN TV. Go in there, CAN TV, share, subscribe. Peace.